Drawing the circle of the magician. When I speak about the vortex, this is the place within us which gives us access to that which is beyond the grid works of the Ouroboros, as above, so below. And when you take hold of the spindle within yourself, standing in that place of self-mastery, this is where we truly heal through these things and become the true cause point in this reality field in alignment with Creator Source and the ultimate good. When you stand within this place, then you are on the path of transcendence and manifestation of a better existence in our reality field and manifestation. Also, when you are within the vortex for a certain amount of time, evil cannot touch you despite what is going on around you in multiplicity. Which is why the more one does this, the more purified and powerful they become. Drawing the circle of the magician is how the vortex is created. Within it, you are able to withstand the influx of all evil evocations and invocations, with the cosmic authority to bind and banish anything that seeks to harm you, and have the spiritual discernment to know the difference. Again, I would like all of you to feel into the things I am saying here in terms of energy and consciousness, using the faculty of the imagination, which is the imagination. We can see within ourselves beyond the mist to pull in and through the vessel the energy force necessary to get the system mechanics of Gnosis working and spinning in the right fashion in alignment with the original template. As within, as without. From the micro to the macro. From the macro to the micro. And to all levels of density and consciousness and existence. These are some literal protocols that I practice and work to show others in all that I am doing with these things. And is what needs to happen when someone is having interface with people, having interface with spirits, or whatever else individuals are having experience with when it comes to, say, angels, guides, all of the extraterrestrial races, all of the gods and goddesses, anything. Okay? And furthermore, get away from all the false religion and New Age teaching out there because it's fucking bullshit. And I cannot stress this enough, you guys. Because all of these people are way too wide the fuck open to these things. And they don't know the game that's been going on, let alone understand the correct protocol that is necessary for all of this. And it takes years in order to be effective in the way of these things in context of what I'm getting at here. Thus, the continual initiations that take place by the higher force as it directs the process of all this within you on a personal level. If you don't understand how all of this really works, and you can't see the evidence, and if anyone out there is dealing with these sorts of things, chances are that you've been raked on a certain level, and you're going to have to go through a deeper healing process of unveiling and acceptance of reality before these things can be seen for what they really are. But if there's a twinge within you that's beyond all of this, I think that this is going to resonate. Okay, first, you need to draw your circle. Yes, around you, over you, and under you as a literal sphere of energy in tandem with your physicality. When properly drawn, cast by a dagger or sword, as an imaginary boundary to the physical eye, has great power both in this and other realms. It also serves to contain the power raised within the circle until the magician releases it. Its primary function is to create a safe, regenerating working area for the performance of the mystic. The power raised within the circle is commonly called the cone of power. The shape of this cone of power, properly produced, is a pulsating cone of energy, with its point high above the ritual area. Some say that the circle must have a 9-foot circumference. However, I've cast circles just big enough to stand in. All were powerful because of the concentration and visualization used when they were cast. Once cast and sealed, it is never wise to cross the boundary until the ritual is finished and the elements dismissed. So casting a proper circle requires a concentrated visualization, focusing of inner energy on the part of the magician. To do this, hold the consecrated dagger or you can use a sword as well. Alright? Begin at the eastern quarter of the area to be circled. Aim the ritual tool at the floor or the ground while visualizing an intense golden white light issuing from the dagger or the sword itself. And using that light, draw a circle clockwise to cover the ritual area. Finish by overlapping the ends of the line in the east. What is important is that you see, at least with your inner eye, a boundary line of gold, white light and flame around you. And understand that you are not working with anything that is outside of yourself here. Nothing. And you need to do this from within yourself, getting away from all the dark brotherhood teachings. Anything in ceremony out there, in tradition, is there for actualizing the mind. Sigils can be used while drawing the circle to ground certain energies within the vortex. And I highly suggest that you stay away from 90% of what is out there because it will key you straight into the astral. And the difference with our work is that we make our own sigils in alignment with what we are keyed into and what is beyond. At the same time, though, certain things may have to be applied in order to build the bridges necessary to bring all the worlds back into alignment within yourself. But accessing the map of the labyrinth will require that I possibly get into sigil magic later on this channel. This, though, is the first installment via Blue Flame Healing Arts and Occult Science. With all this, though, as well the cosmic laws of alchemy presented on Black Earth Productions. This is foundation for what will be coming as you are navigating through all these things. The circle needs to be worked on daily so that it gets stronger and stronger. This is what the magician and my ancient ancestors knew. And this is everything to do with energy work and remembering how to master your thought and emotion in tandem with the prima materia. Remember that it's all a state of mind. You can do this within yourself or literally draw the circle. Actualize yourself and your mind and your energy into this. Be in this consistently. This is what I mean when I use the term via the vortex, which is also attributed to the heart vortex within you. It is the thalamus gland which flows in tandem with the heart center chakra along with the throat chakra. You also need to view yourself as equal with any spirits, as equal with any angels, extraterrestrials, gods, goddesses, beings, anything. Yes, and even other people. Literally with everything. You have your own spirit. And this is what you need to be focused on developing and integrating from within yourself in connection to what is beyond the barrier before you can truly know how interface is supposed to actually work and what is going on. Which is why I'm in the process of unveiling these things for you. Again, you can take what I say or leave it. But this is what I am encouraging and empowering with what or whomever or whatever I personally encounter. Because I've come here as a diplomat of that which is beyond the barrier. And binding and banishing what seeks to harm you is another aspect to this which puts whatever you're having interface with into a circle of its own. This allows things to be at a distance so that energies do not mix, except in the case of divine partnership, which I will be getting into as well during the expansion of Blue Flame Healing Arts and Occult Science. In truth, you have the potential to be just as evolved, if not even more than some of the things that you will have interface with. Because of the fact that you have a physical body which is required for any being to go through the biospiritual regenesis, are already on a core level connected to that which is beyond the astral barrier. This is how we access it. This is the true system of magic that was lost throughout the ages. And through daily energy work and practice with the higher occult sciences, as they unveil themselves before you, more will come to you. Which is why fucking with spirits can be dangerous. Because most of them just want to ride in on your genetics. Or give you some sort of power, which is how they take yours. Making pacts, contracts, or trade you off for some lower astral knowledge that's been a part of why we are in the shit we find ourselves in the first place. Okay, listen, our grid work Our reality field, this physical universe, is both the lowest and the highest realm at the same time. And I'm going to get more into this as I progress. And because what is held within the core of yourself and the plane and reality field we are a part of here, this is what we need to access. And it's held within the core of the planet. And it is nature herself we must be connecting with as well. And all the ancient beings that are here on the planet, via the animals, and not seeing them as something that is inferior to us as humans, but raising it all back up to the higher from within. This is another part of the process as well. Ironically, the actual physical dimension holds precedence over all other realms and dimensions. This is something else that has not been addressed enough. So understand, with your core, in alignment with the true planetary Templar, not the antagonistic core, which is on a parallel inverted timeline entwined with the timeline we are on here, linking everything up to the astral barrier. When you are in connection with the planetary Templar, you are potentially in connection with the highest grid works beyond the astral barrier within the original universe. And when you do this, that is when the Ruach is on the upverse principle, yet accessing the true planetary Templar will take you through a series of rigorous initiations. And if you're in the process of integration of the higher dimensions and densities of consciousness, allowing the activation of your dormant genetics to take its course, then you're going to have interface with more than I can even say. This I 100% guarantee. Learn to connect directly to the will of the higher force in your own innate soul code genetics and establish direct personal connection with Creator Source, with yourself within the circle. Hold your own power of decision and authority over your evolutionary destiny. In this place, you need to develop your own way of testing the shit out of everything that comes into your field and learn how to expand your sphere. And remember the right things you must ask and say for the energy to flow correctly. Otherwise, something else will become the cause point for your existence. This is protocol. We can observe and learn and listen to other entities and beings, but you must put them in a circle they cannot move out from. And if there's anything that comes in to harm you, again, you bind and banish the fucking shit out of it. Destroy its energetic connection and cut it the fuck off. Let no other being in existence stand between your true self and your personal connection to Creator Source. You do not need intermediaries or a priesthood to make this connection yourself. Yet wise counsel is necessary to confirm what is unveiled in confirmation within the circle. Again, this will take years for you to develop and gain access to the higher realms from within yourself. For some, the process takes its course faster than others depending on certain things. But everyone's process is their own, and no one is above anyone. Truth is the master to which we hold in highest regard, and it can never contradict itself. You only need the intention of your own higher dimensional identity levels, which are based upon multi-dimensional genetics. The grid works, networks, timelines, etc. And depending on what you are already keyed into is what you are going to have to master before you can even begin to start integrating consciousness that is held within your true soul code genetics. Be willing to take responsibility for your own conscious evolution, and don't expect others on Earth or otherwise, or for any other stellar race to direct your evolution for you. If you are, and you bow to anyone or any of these things, then you've been compromised. Straight the fuck up. Okay? Let's just keep it fucking real. You need to become responsible for yourself and your multidimensional anatomy as a major part of growing the fuck up and coming into mental, emotional, and spiritual maturity. Okay, third, be willing to study and apply to your existence the cosmic laws of alchemy, along with the scientific laws of the universal unified field of metaphysics, so that you can become competent in manifesting what you desire to experience, and also learn how to work in patience, kindness, and coming at life from a place of empowerment. as well as being in cooperation and respect to life itself, within yourself and with life around you. Make remembering and operating from your spiritual core and higher dimensional consciousness the first priority in your life. First within yourself, then with others. And realize that you do not need religion to achieve any sort of spiritual actualization or activation whatsoever. All is within you. Realize that all the riddles of the fallen will solve themselves as you come to understand the nature of your eternal self. And learn that spiritual maturity includes learning and mastering the higher occult sciences mechanics of consciousness. If any of this is resonating with you, you have the genetic potential for rapid DNA template bioregenesis and activation. And to become consciously involved with your own DNA acceleration process will allow your dormant genetic potential and spiritual awareness to awaken more quickly. I encourage you, though, to go at pace. And depending on your personal disposition, like I was getting into before with the astropsychology and everything else, this will determine the levels that you can take at times of healing and integration. And listen, it can become very fucking intense if you don't know what's fully going on, you guys, okay? That's why you must study your fucking ass off and not be keyed into false teachings or the teachings of the left wing. If you want to go that route, go right the fuck ahead. But that's on you. Okay, fourth, in accelerating your own potentials. You not only empower yourself, you assist directly in the evolution of the human race. Though consciously directed education into all these things and evolutionary acceleration, you can learn advanced knowledge and wisdom. And discover why you actually chose to incarnate. And remember what you incarnated to truly do in your own progressive awakening to your eternal identity. You can help others to awaken as well. And you can become a healing influence in regard to others and all the fucking bullshit going on here on ground level. You know, and there's people that get into this sort of thing. They get into magic. They get into the occult because they want power, or, you know, that they're trying to fucking escape. Okay, we didn't come here to escape. We came here to own this shit. And you need to own this shit. And you need to own yourself. If you keep committing to awakening and empowering yourself and others, you can assist with the pro-human races in making their presence known. But they must be for fucking real. No fucking bullshit. And only ones that are connected to what is beyond the barrier. That is where the true benevolence exists. Most of them don't exist within the gridworks that are beyond the barrier because they left. There are a few. But then there are those of us that incarnated to assist the hour we are in. And those that hold those genetics are very, very, very fucking ancient. Some are timeless. Fifth, by sincerely working with the principles in spiritual maturity, you can begin to experience conscious contact with the pro-human races that are beyond the barrier. And if you're able to regenerate and activate more of the original template, you may have the opportunity for a literal biological Stargate passage, and will become the Stargate yourself, and experience time travel into more advanced timelines and future cultures, otherwise not so advanced. Then others, where there's chaos and torment, far worse than there is even here, and also into where nothing exists at all. Then, having navigated all this from within yourself, it is only meant for those that have come to a certain level of self-mastery and takes decades to come into, sometimes even lifetimes. And with some of us that are here to finish what we started eons ago, we have never been in a time like we are in this hour. So remember, you must claim this for yourself first and foremost. Don't be naive and think that all contact is going to benefit you. In fact, most of it doesn't at all, because of all the host fields that have been set up within the Ouroboros. Do not view these spirits as our creator gods, space parents, or our saviors. And know that humans, within their core, have more spiritual maturity and moral ethics than many of these other stellar races do. Do not expect experts in government, religion, psychiatry, medicine to save you. They really have little knowledge when it comes to any of this. And regarding the reality, because most of the institutions are in fact ran by the malevolence themselves. Okay? Realize that you can become your own expert and guide through integrating your own higher dimensions of consciousness. Bioregenesis technology of the original template protects you and shows you the difference when it comes to all these things. And during the process, integration and meditation and acceleration process, if you become blissed out or dazzled or have been seduced by all of the Zeta Draconian crystalline Sirian B consciousness, this is something that you're going to have to burn through and get away from knowing the difference. And they will and do present themselves as angels, gods, benevolent extraterrestrials, and do many tricks to demonstrate their so-called advancements. But this does not necessarily mean that they are holding a fair agenda. On the contrary, realize that just because they are quote-unquote more evolved in certain ways does not mean that they are perfect or free from any hidden agendas and are non-infected themselves. And lastly, if you succumb to fear, emotional, mental, and energetic manipulation, and the feeling of powerlessness, and fall into a victim mentality and come into that as the effect from anyone or anything, you're going to have to snap yourself back and give more strength to the mind within your circle. And you need to take time to pull back from everything. Do this in moments of intense meditation and focus to align your energy and mind field within the vortex again. Don't allow yourself to be drawn out. There is a time and place that we strike, but it's never to be on their terms of provocation. And while going through this process, you need to watch the flanks as well and get at least one person to have your back in the process. Ultimately, no one can do this alone, which is why I do what I do. But you must know the difference when it comes to all these things, and you must know thyself. If you are engaging contact with anything within the barrier, let alone with what is beyond it, before you have learned to remember how to frequency seal your personal multidimensional bioenergetic field, you're fucked. And you need to cease immediately and come back into yourself and dig a little bit deeper beyond where you find yourself even now in these moments. And for your sake, for the sake of those around you, go back to the beginning again as much as you need to until you have a very, very solid foundation to work upon in proper knowledge. By learning to remember simple bioregenesis techniques to discover the structure of your own unique system and multi-genetic anatomy. Once you get access to this, then you can proceed without being pulled into all the bullshit that is going on. And with that, I would like to thank everyone. I would like to welcome you to the Blue Flame Healing Arts and Occult Science aspect of our work. If you'd like to get a hold of me for session, check out blackearthproductions with a Z.com. Get ready, more is coming. I'll talk to you soon.